Hello and welcome to the Bright Business Talk Show, where we have conversations, purpose-driven conversations about business and life. And today, I we're doing something a little different because I'm upgrading our software to do our live streaming, and it's not working. So we're going to do this pre-recorded today, and our guest Jennine Morel has been gracious enough to work with me on this. And so I'm really pleased to have her join me on the show today. So welcome to the show, Jennine. How are you today?
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate being here. I'm doing well, just enjoying the brand new year and making all kinds of plans and goals to hopefully hit the ground running.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited. It's like the what's going on in my brain is like thrive in 25.
Sounds like a good motto for the
Yeah,
year.
I'm just putting that out there. So it's all going to be thriving in 25 and having
Yes.
fun.
hmm
So what's new with you? How was your holiday? Any exciting things happen?
Honestly, I wouldn't say anything exciting. What's exciting for me is honestly low-key family time.
That's
So I did
exciting,
get to do that.
actually.
To me, taking time off to power down the brain and just relax. I would say one thing that's new and exciting, I guess, I like to add to my collection of hobbies. So I found a few craft things that I can do with my kids and things like that or enjoy myself. But I mean, other than that, what's new and exciting is plans for the future, scheduling things out that I want to accomplish this year, different ways to, maximize my efforts with my business, but also focusing in on healthy living and a holistic approach to being in business.
Oh, you and I could talk. You and I need to talk. I want to bring you on my other show,
I
the
think that's a great idea. I love
the
to,
Wealthy
I
Healthy
actually
Life
like
Show.
to talk, so I appreciate that. But I mean, other than that, new and exciting, it's a new year. It's a new me. Every year I get a chance to kind of reevaluate what my goals are and what I want to accomplish.
Wow, that's fantastic. Let me embarrass you here for a little bit now, and this will bring up some things that we can chat about. So your areas of expertise are all things startup, and I love that. I've got some startup background too. And then you do business plans, you do business planning, project management, operations, accounting. You're an expert in QuickBooks and other accounting software. You do financial projections and forecasting, budgeting, general business management, and says much more.
Much, much more.
Is there much more than all that? How about sales? Do you do sales too?
That's not my strong point, honestly, but people say that when I'm in my comfort zone, I mean, not comfort zone, but when I'm really comfortable and I'm in the flow state,
Yeah,
that they say that I'm actually quite a salesperson. I don't see myself that way, but I feel that what makes me good at sales is that I think I'm very genuine and I'm very authentic and I connect well with people. And so as far as that, being good at sales, I think that's probably one area that makes me good at sales.
I agree. Yeah, I've been in sales for 30 plus years. Almost embarrassing to say. And I've met a lot of really good salespeople, excellent salespeople, and some not so really good salespeople. And the ones that don't do well are what you'd call the salespeople, right? The ones that
Exactly.
talk, 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 and they don't listen. They don't care about what you think. They just want to sell you something. And
The ones
that
who are
gives
trying
everybody
too
else a bad
hard.
name,
Yeah, the ones who are trying too hard to make a sale, I don't
right?
think that that's ideally what you're supposed to be doing.
I think you're right. I think you're right. So tell me something about your startup experience. I love that area.
My startup experience, and it's one of the things that I had mentioned in the introduction to you is that I have a long history of working with startups when I was working with a nonprofit organization that helps women business owners to start their businesses. And I encountered that organization over 20 years ago in 2003. And so what is fascinating to me is, or what I say is drives me, is that I really want to see people start off well. I want them to have a good foundation and to me, a good foundation is a necessary for success. With the, I don't know what they say is like Like almost 80% of new businesses will fail within the first 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's scary to me, because people put a lot of money and effort into starting a business. And so wouldn't you want to improve your odds of being successful?
Yeah. Yeah. Except it's like when you're getting started, you're thinking that you can conquer the world and that your idea is better than, the old saying sliced bread, right? So
Yes,
that you're like going out there with huge confidence and that's good. You need that. But I think you're absolutely right that having that awareness of, you know what, I don't know everything, and it would be really smart for me to bring in some advisors that have been through this and know how to set up my business for success so that I'm not having to worry about what's right, what's wrong, or worse yet, get into something, get started, and then find out you did it wrong and you have to
hmm
start over and do all the stuff again and go through the learning curve. Why not just bring somebody up, pay them a little bit? Yeah, you got to figure out how to pay them, but it's so worth it. Don't you agree?
I do agree. I think, well, and I love people who are ambitious and who will leap before they look. Sometimes I really love those people to death.
Right? Yeah,
Because
just
they embrace and embody that really that entrepreneurial spirit. And but those are the ones that I want to like grab them and put the reins on a little bit and say, I'm not going to try to stop you from doing anything, but what I want to do is help you create a pathway to get to success, because I love your energy. I love that you want to do this thing. I just want to see it actually come to fruition, and not have to jump ship and do something different in 3 or 4 years because everything falls apart due to lack of some kind of planning. So yeah, definitely agree with that.
yeah. So I mean, when with the Bright Business Program that Florence put together, we've got all kinds of great resources like you to pull into the mix
I'm
to
very
help
excited to be a part of the resources.
startups.
Honestly, Jim, that really, really excites me.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, me too. I've been working with Florence for several years, and he's doing an amazing job, and the team's growing like crazy. So it's super exciting to see that momentum happening with the right people. It's like you're bringing so much to the table with what you do, and you're you seem like a really great person too. And you got a family. You sent me some pictures of your family and your little Maltipoo
Yes.
little guy.
hmm
He's cute.
And if I say his name, he might actually show up on camera. So, you never know who you're going to get a guest
Oh, that'd be
appearance from.
great. I'd love to see. I'd love to meet. I'd love to meet. What's his name? Marshall. Hey, Marshall.
Marshall. Yeah. I
Bring
can get him
Marshall
to
on.
come over here if you want me to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Bring him over if you want. That'd be
Okay.
cool. So you have a Bachelor of Arts degree, BA degree from uh, Cal State University,
Yes,
Santa
USB.
Barbara, is it?
No, sorry, that's Cal State San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. Okay. And you got a business administration with accounting and finance concentration, powerful stuff. And then professional certificates in grants management and budgeting, and then forensic accounting and business valuations. What is that? Forensic accounting. That sounds exciting, sort of.
For me, it is. Not everybody is as exciting about what I do as I am. Um, that's where, I mean, accounting in general is probably, I don't know. I feel like it's just like it's not a topic that a whole lot of people like to talk about for whatever reason. But for, and just in more specifically, forensic accounting is getting into the books to find out if there's any fraud going on. And
Ah,
but it's also, and again, as you see with the business valuations, again, we have to take a deeper dive to see how the accountants or the bookkeepers have been developing the financial statements for the company so that we can assess what's the company worth. So it's twofold. So with the forensics, we're really looking, and I just do this naturally because I am very meticulous. I'm very detail oriented. So I'm looking at everything, and I can't imagine anybody being in my industry not being meticulous. But sometimes I think maybe I take it to a fault, but I think it makes me really good at what I do. Um, and then again with the forensics, we're looking for people who are engaging in, maybe it's an accident, maybe it is legitimate fraud. So there will be situations where a forensic accountant could work with a divorce attorney, for instance. Say there's someone is doing something behind the scenes, or whatever, one partner feels that the other is not being completely forthright with what your value or your business is, or what your assets are, or what the value of the company. I actually had a woman who reached out to me on Facebook. I don't even know how she found me. A lot of people will reach out to me after they read something that I'll post. I'll answer a question, or I'll engage in someone's comment. And then so she reached out to me. She says, she's in Texas, and she says, hey, you know what? My husband has this, and they've got multiple companies, and he's telling me that he's trying to cut me out of everything. That's a situation where someone like me, I could either help the client themselves or work with the attorneys. There are larger cases, of course, with different other types of fraud that a forensic accountant could get called in on. I mean, so, really the gambit is very wide spread out. So there's a lot of different situations where someone would call in a
Mhm.
forensic accountant.
Okay.
It's not my main area of expertise, but I decided to go ahead and get that certification because it does help allow for me to participate in audits.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an important part of it. I would think. And then business valuations. I've run into that before, where people, a lot of startups, the founders are a bit reticent. They're kind of shy to create an exit strategy for whatever reason. And
Hmm.
um, I'm an advocate of create that thing like the first day. Make your
Yeah,
exit strategy part of your initial business plan. Put it on that front
exactly.
page, that first page of your business plan. Say, this is how I'm getting out. And that
Exactly.
begin with the end in mind, right? But
Always. Yep, that's right. Stephen Covey.
yeah, exactly. It's good stuff. And then, but with evaluation, a lot of a lot of business owners say, well, I'm just going to take cash because I don't want to pay taxes. You know, you're shaking your head. But it happens, right?
It's all part of doing the business. So, again, I also look at myself as a trusted financial advisor.
Hmm.
So again, my title is all encompassing, and I think we've mentioned the word holistic a few times. Um, I want clients to have good business. I want them to have strong, successful businesses. Yes, and I definitely agree with the having the exit strategy, because you're going to get out of your business one way or the other.
Yeah.
So you might as well start your business off with where you'd like to end up. What do you want this thing to be worth when you get to sell it? And then one of my other reasons for going ahead with the business valuation training is that um, where we're at right now in this age, we have the baby boomers that are wanting to remove themselves from their businesses. So they are looking at their exit strategies right now. And then at this point, maybe they didn't have one. So they're needing to get out of their business, or they wanting to sell it. They would like it to go into another person's hands, and working with folks in that generation. Huge, huge opportunity to help so many people, transfer their business to another, individual or company that wants to really do well by them and see the business go on. But, get a good valuation of that business, because they've basically invested, who knows, most of their adult life into creating something of value. And
Right.
so there's the intrinsic part of the value, and then there's the actual financial component of the value.
Yeah. And if you're just taking cash, it's pretty hard for you to do your work.
I err on the side of transparency as much as possible.
Right.
So
Yeah.
transparency and clarity.
So then I would, from what you just said, it sounds like there might be some increased opportunities as baby boomers begin to restructure these businesses to acquire them from
Huge,
them.
huge, like
And
no
so what
other
does that mean,
time.
huge?
I forgot the actual number. I'm going to take a stab at it. I literally sat in a training not too long ago, and there's a few people that I follow on YouTube that talk a little bit about this, but helping folks to basically keep those businesses open by buying them. So the way that you're going to buy them, of course, is you also want to know what they're worth so that you can figure out how to adjust, I mean, not to adjust, but how to figure out what they're worth with the business valuations and then whatever financing options that'll be available for you. I think the number, so don't quote me, I think the number that they said was like over 800,000, and don't quote me here, I'm not sure, but the number is, there's a lot of people who are in the retirement age who are baby boomers that have been, solopreneurs are very small, basically your very small corner business, mom and pop shops. Um, and they're now to the place where they do want to retire. They want to take whatever, some money out of that and spend their twilight years or whatever, their time out now. They want to spend doing something fun. They've worked really hard. They built a great business. They have great customer service. They've built something into the communities where they are. And so that's why it's really important to try to save those businesses by buying them instead of, seeing it just, okay, well, mom and dad want to exit out of their business now, and what do we do, right?
Yeah,
So,
but maybe the kids don't want the business.
and maybe the kids don't want the business. So there are, individuals who are very interested in seeing what we call Main Street businesses being able to thrive and survive by passing it on to someone else by selling it. And, in that situation, we want to make sure that we take a lot of things into consideration with how much that business is worth, because again, it is not just what's on the books. There is the community value, the customer relationships they've built up over the years by having a stable location for years and years and years. So there's a lot of components that go into that. But as far as like the actual physical numbers, I don't have it in front of me. I did hear it, but again, it's a very large number that represents a large portion of our business owner population that are now looking at leaving their businesses. And, it's a great opportunity for folks like myself or others who can afford to buy into businesses to help keep them alive and thriving.
Yeah. So what does that look like? Who would be like what would the characteristics of someone who would be a good candidate for purchasing a business like that? What would they look like? What would their life be like at this point?
Someone who's got some energy to run a business.
Okay. Do they need to have a bunch of money to buy into it?
I don't have all of the answers for that, but what I'm learning is the answer is no, not necessarily. There are like what we call seller financing. And again, I'm not the expert on this topic, but I could definitely share with you what I've learned from a few
Also, if
folks.
it's like real estate, like commercial real estate, there's a lot of similarities
Somewhat.
maybe.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. So there is a book that I'm reading, and I'm not going to, do any shout outs or any, what do you call that? Anyway, so there is one book that I'm reading. There's a few people that I follow on YouTube that are promoting more people look into as far as like, a an alternative to a brand new startup. So instead of going and starting a brand new business, look
Yeah.
into buying a business that already exists, that is already generating revenues, and then someone like myself can come in and number one, help you with the valuation, and then help you with, managing the business as far as taking on top of the financials, giving you reports on cash flow, making sure that you're staying profitable and healthy. Because ultimately, once you buy this business that's been in existence for so long, we want to keep it open, right? We want to keep
Well,
it going
yeah.
because it's been a pivotal part or whatever, a formative part of the community.
Yeah. So if you find something that you're passionate about and that you think has the ability to stay where it's at or grow,
Yes.
that could be really exciting. Instead
Yeah.
of having to
So,
start something all over from scratch.
yep. And
Like
it, it'll be, it might be
if
a
you have business
startup for them.
experience as an employee in some area, but you've got this burning desire to be your own boss and have your own business, that might be a great alternative instead of starting something from scratch on your own. go find a company that's already existing and make them an offer. Say, I want to buy your company. I love what you're doing and I want to do this myself and I want to buy your company. Is it for sale? It's like
Yeah.
everything's open for sale, right?
Yes. You also asked, like, what would the characteristics be? I would have to say another really key component, and not just necessarily financial, but you really have to have a leader, a servant leader mindset. And
Explain
because
that. What does that mean?
to me, a good business owner is, yes, we want to make money, right? Of course, we're in business to make money. But at the end of the day, we're talking about, now we've got employees that are relying on us for their, for their well-being, and being a good example of what it means to be a solid member of the community. So making sure that you're taking advantages of opportunities to learn ways to be a better business owner, be a better boss, be a better manager. And
Okay.
so I
So
think
there's
someone who's,
growth there in
yes,
moving into that. Maybe that's out of your comfort zone right now, but that's okay. You
hmm,
can grow into that.
yes.
You can
So a
become
heart
a
to,
better person through this experience.
you absolutely can.
Yeah, and you will, or you won't be successful. I'm
I
thinking.
would have to agree with that statement.
So that's part of it then too, is having that commitment to want to grow and become more and better,
I think entrepreneurship and business ownership shapes you in a way that
like nothing else.
nothing else in life. I mean, people say, oh, well, I'm struggling in life and I don't know what to do with myself. And I'm like, start a business, solve a problem for someone. No, really, like you
Yeah,
don't
go from the
have,
frying pan into the fire, into that hot coals, baby. Go
but
stand in that hot coals for a while. You'll be better off.
it will prove you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm preaching to the choir here because I'm an entrepreneur too. I love that. It's like bring it on.
Yeah, I think the more vulnerable and authentic they're willing to be and to tell people, this is really hard and I'm having a tough time, and finding groups of people to network with, to collaborate with, to mastermind with others who know what you're going through and who are willing to also say, hey, you know what? Remember that day when you couldn't find me? Well, I was actually like, I dialed out completely and I just shut everything off because I just had so much going on.
Mhm.
So again, entrepreneurship will, I can't remember, there's a statement that was made, but it's kind of like it'll emphasize where your weaknesses are.
Yeah, yeah. Real quick, it's such an amazing
If you let
opportunity to
it,
grow.
if if you let it, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner will take you through every single thing that you thought you knew and refine that definition um, 1,000 times.
Absolutely, yeah. And for me, it's the relationships with people that
Hmm.
bring so much beauty and love and joy into it.
Yep.
You kind of think it when you're going through school, you're reading about business and going through all the facts and figures and making all of the numbers work and all that, that it's kind of intellectual to be successful. And it's definitely part of it. But the real power is in the relationships, is being, being open to new and better you by expanding your horizon, stepping into your uncomfort zone, and just
Hmm.
absorbing those bruises that come along and
Yeah, I've
appreciating
got
other
one right
people.
here.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you've been through it, but that's the beauty of having someone like you on your team too, because you've been through that.
I would think so. I'm an amazing person to have on your team. I
Well,
actually
yeah,
care about my clients.
exactly. It's so important for us. And when you're by yourself, you're a solopreneur or just getting started as an entrepreneur, we tend to pigeonhole ourselves into our little place and not get out. And we get into this echo chamber of our own brain. And that to me that's kind of like being in hell. it's not a fun place to be. You gotta force yourself to get outside. You gotta force yourself to talk to other people that aren't sales oriented conversations and talk about other things while you're
Mhm.
doing this. And go have, break bread with people. Go develop real relationships that matter in your life. And you'll find, I think you'll agree, is that those relationships will help pull you through the hard times
You have
and
no
give
idea.
you the strength to go the next step.
Mhm.
Even though you're so uncomfortable doing the next thing, whatever it is, that right person will come along and say, you can do this, and give you maybe a way through it, a suggestion that just brings everything to clarity and helps you move through it.
Mhm.
So how do you help people with those kind of things?
First of all, I find out what they're really struggling with, and sometimes um, it's not immediate. And I think the years that I've spent as a business counselor, business consultant, has really helped me to connect with folks at a very deep level and allow for them to feel comfortable being vulnerable with me.
Hmm.
Because I'll share with you one story. I've got many stories to share.
Oh, beautiful. I love stories. Do share.
I tell people, and I kid you not when I say this, I probably have business counseled close to 4,000 people in the last 15 years. And I've heard so many stories about so many different things. And because the title that I had, people immediately felt very comfortable with sharing very intimate parts of what they're struggling with. And sometimes I have to keep asking them questions, just like a therapist, about what's going on in the situation, because they'll come to me and say, I'm closing my business. I can't do this. This is too hard. My husband is not connecting with me, or I don't have time for my family. And so, and kind of just keep going with that and asking a few more questions and allowing them to just like get all the surface stuff out when it comes to find out like, oh, I really need to hire a virtual assistant, or I need an administrative person in here, or I'm really not an accounting person. And this is something I'd like to take off my plate. And I'd like to be able to have this conversation with my partner that this isn't the area of my business, of our business, that I'd like to focus on. And so sometimes having a sounding board, I mean, yes, I'm an accountant. At the end of the day, I'm an accountant. I'm a financial advisor. I'm a financial specialist. But in order to get at the root of what's going on with the company, I need to get to the root of what's going on with the company's owners. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah. Oh,
And
it's tough. That's sometimes the toughest part because you've got to establish that trust
exactly.
and that relationship. And that's when, you know, as we were talking about, taking that time to go out and break bread and
Taking time to talk to people.
talk
And
to
sometimes
people.
I have to pull things out of
Yeah.
folks
And get them.
to
And sometimes you
talk,
got to be vulnerable yourself a little bit.
be very vulnerable.
Yeah. So it's like a give and take, but the structure of that really produces a lot of fruit.
It does.
So how's that experience? How did that experience end up? How did that go?
Well, through a lot of massaging, it worked out great because now they're my full-time client.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. But
That's
I mean, that's
fantastic.
just one story. I have so many that I can share with you where clients were struggling with things. And it really takes a matter of, like you shared with me. And I try to be as authentic and vulnerable as I can because I want to earn your trust. And I want to earn it fairly fast only because there could be timelines and deadlines, literal financial timelines and deadlines that we're up against that could cost them money, thousands of dollars not having certain things set up right. But I have to get to that where, well, they're willing to have those conversations with me to be able to have any positive, effective action on their books.
Right. Yeah, I
um,
imagine.
so I share, they share, I, give stories of how I've helped people, different situations where people have come to me. Sometimes I had one tax client tell me that how did she say it? She says, every time I see a new tax deadline, I'm triggered. I said, I understand the trigger, really I do, but I'd like to avoid you feeling all of those triggers by let's be a little proactive and let's look at your stuff before you're now filing an extension and you're up against the third or fourth deadline. I mean, that just to me, I'm like, that's got to create a lot of internal turmoil. And
Right.
so
Yeah. And that turmoil is
let me help
so,
you.
it doesn't help you at all. We were talking about health a little bit earlier. That right there, that's probably a big contributor. My story is, I let my body, I pushed my body so hard that it basically filed divorce papers on me. So I had to, it basically said, nope, dude, I'm out of here. You can come along if you want, but it's your
Yeah.
choice. And I had to make some decisions. Um,
And the
don't let
financial,
yourself get to where I was.
mm-mm.
It's not smart. And doing those kind of things, letting those deadlines go and not getting help and not making things happen when you're immersed in this idea of having a business and growing it is probably the worst thing you can do is procrastinate on that stuff.
It's incredible the turmoil that it can wreak. It definitely the wreaking havoc on your mental and your physical health.
Right. Yeah. You want to be in the flow, right? You want to be in a point as a business owner, you got to be ahead of the game. You got to be flying that jet.
And I
You be
want
10 miles ahead of where the jet's going to be before it gets there.
at least, yes, and being able to function in their area of genius, right? There's a thing that they're really, really good at, why they're even in business in the first place.
Hmm. Yeah. So you help them find that.
I do.
That's cool. So you've got a lot of experience to do this. But you're also, let's see, you have a passion for entrepreneurship and you're, let's see, currently active accounting and financial service business. That's what you're doing now. Also, um, a business partner and advisor for several other projects. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So when I'm not actually doing any of the accounting, I'm acting or offering services as a business consultant and or being asked to sit on a board to make to give recommendations, to give advice, guidance, direction. I may not actually be performing any accounting services.
Okay.
And then, I mean, there's just people who know that I exist. And so they'll reach out to me and say, hey, I got this thing going on. Can you just like chime in for a little bit? Can we do some consulting? I need to work out a 3, 6, 1 year plan on this thing. Can you assist with developing a budget for this project? Um, Things like that. So, it just, different levels of capacity that I'm able to assist clients with. So, people that know me or have had experience working with me kind of know a lot of the different things that I've been able to help other people with and the areas that I've have quite a bit of experience with. So they'll feel really comfortable literally calling me almost anytime, day or night, or, hey, can I get on your calendar? Do you have some availability this week? I need to like bounce some ideas off, with you and see, am I thinking correctly? So, I have a great opportunity to help people in that capacity, either as a, full professional sitting on a board and or, general clients will call me for general business consulting in a variety of different areas, to friends just saying, does this sound right?
Oh, those are the best conversations.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. Congratulations. That's
Before or after the margarita. So it depends on.
so you're currently with the IEWBC.
No, I am not currently with them. I have branched away from them to focus more on building my own company, but I was with them as a paid consultant, counselor for over almost, I was paid for very few years. Actually, I started getting paid in 2019, but I actually started working with them in 2003 and more effectively as a business counselor and trainer for about 15 years as on a volunteer basis. So I volunteered for about 13 maybe. So I'm not currently with them, but
Oh,
during those
okay.
years of time, I trained in a variety of different topics on entrepreneurship and business ownership.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to bring up your profile here with your picture, your wonderful shot there. And, you know, just to let everybody know who you are. So
That's a cute picture.
that's
Yes.
Jennine, and that's your email address, but that's the iewbc.org. Is that the wrong one?
Oh, you know what? I need to change that. My apologies. Let's not use that one.
So let's get you set up. Where's the real one?
Where's the real one?
Let's
Thank
see
you for
here. I'm
showing
gonna
that to me.
pull up your other. Um, let's see.
You can share my Facebook email, my
Yeah.
Facebook
Let me bring up your
profile or my
Facebook.
LinkedIn profile, and I can,
We'll get
yeah,
this
thank
taken
you for
care of.
showing that to me. I completely missed that email had needed to be updated.
Oh, that's okay. We're working in the moment here on the fly.
That's the
So
way to go.
this is your Facebook page,
Yes.
and so advanced booking concepts. And let's see, this is um, your phone number
Yes.
and your advancedbookkeeping.abc@gmail.com. That's the real email address.
Advancedbookkeeping.abc@gmail.com. Yes, that's the best one to reach me at right now. I have another one, but right now that one is the best one.
Okay, cool. And then we have your website there. And is that something you want to go to at this point?
Sure, we can go there. As I stated, I kind of downsized it quite a bit to make it a little bit more simple for the moment.
I like simple. So book a consultation appointment now. So yeah, all you got to do is just go to
And then there's a little bit about me down below.
Means website. Another great shot. Advanced bookkeeping concepts, full service bookkeeping, accounting, tax, business, offering these and other services to help business owners, managers, and key staff to be able to streamline their efforts and make better decisions. Awesome. Love it. So you got bookkeeping services, accounting services, and tax services. If you want to book an appointment, you go to the Calendly there, and yeah, get yourself set up. Easy.
Pretty easy. I tried to make it as streamlined as possible.
And then we also have your LinkedIn profile. We'll talk about that while we're here. Anything that you want to highlight here?
Helping business owners to master business finances and make smart, fast decisions for maximum impact.
There you go.
And then also book the appointment is also linked there.
Yep, book an appointment now. So you just click on that link. Takes you to that Calendly link. Beautiful.
I'm
And
trying to be consistent, Jim.
hey, that's part of it. Consistency is I think that's something that I'm working on is being consistent. It's a challenge
It is.
sometimes.
It is a challenge. That's why I didn't catch that incorrect email on my bio. I need to update
Exactly.
that.
So if you want to get a hold of Jennine, you can come to her LinkedIn address, visit her on LinkedIn. You can visit her on Facebook right there and book an appointment.
You
Click the
asked me
banner to
also about
learn.
some events that I have coming up.
Oh, yeah. Talk to me. What do you got?
Were you still interested in learning about that?
Absolutely.
Next week, I'm offering an Intro to QuickBooks Online. It's a free 90-minute workshop where I kind of do a very, surface level, high level introduction to using QuickBooks Online and accounting software, which I hope there's, more people who want to know about it. And then I normally I'm offering
Do you have
a
a sign up for that? Do you have a
I
URL I could take people
I
to?
do
So
actually.
share that in the chat and I'll put it up.
Okay. Let's see. Let me go there for you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you. So I'm actually offering a few free things a month to give people lots of opportunities to meet with me, talk to me, get some free knowledge,
Okay.
ask me questions. So I do an Ask Me Anything. I do the Intro to QuickBooks Online, and I also have a I only go just a basic bookkeeping tips and tricks for folks. So I call that Bookkeeping for Better Business.
All right.
I'll
Well,
grab
that's
those
something
links.
that a lot of people, I think, take for granted, maybe that, oh, it's so easy. I'll just figure it out myself.
Yes.
It's
Can I
like,
share with you
no.
while Chrome is loading, can I share something else with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So over the years, I've really been working on different ways that I can help people with bookkeeping. And I know like immediately, I think some people think, okay, bookkeeper, so she's going to do it for me. So over the last year and a half, I've really been devising how to restructure my bookkeeping offers. And, you know, maybe at another time we can have a conversation and I can really go into a little bit more detail of all of the different ways. I actually have a presentation that I have prepared for that. But someone said, hey, we'll just focus on bookkeeping because yes, there are lots of different areas in business that I can help people from loan packaging, taxes, insurance, other administrative support, inventory management. So I really have developed and worked on a holistic, full service business management business. And basically, you know, what would you need for all of those things? But to focus solely on the bookkeeping component, over the last year and a half, I really have racked my brain of how can I make myself more available or accessible for folks who are at different levels. So you've got folks who are the startups, but they still need some assistance and they may think that their tax preparer is going to figure all of this stuff out for them. So no, your tax preparer isn't going to probably won't do it for you. So what I've come up with is I've got some basically do-it-yourself, self-driven videos, a video training of how to create your P&L if you're a very small, maybe you sell Mary Kay or Avon, or maybe you're, you know, you have a vendor place at a pop-up or something, a very small business model. You can use my do-it-yourself videos, self-directed. And then, of course, if you need me to step in, you can, you know, basically make some time with me to give you a little bit more guidance. But I created the video training so for someone who was a do-it-yourselfer, they can.
Oh, that's
I then
beautiful.
also I also have these bookkeeping clinics who are looking for folks who are do it with me. So I also offer one-on-one basically bookkeeping coaching, consulting, financial management coaching on a one-on-one basis. And so I've created some packages around that if you want to do one-on-one, or I've got bookkeeping clinics that I'm hosting twice a month that you can come in on a drop-in basis or on a monthly subscription or other subscription basis. We're now in a collaborative way. You can come in with other, again, this would be primarily focused towards smaller businesses that don't have a whole lot going on. And so I created these bookkeeping clinics so that you can get the assistance. And again, you don't have to wait till tax time to get your stuff caught up. And again, I'm really wanting to relieve that apprehension, that trigger moment. Like, what can I do to help people with those triggers? They wait until tax time to get everything wrapped up. And then there's this intense push for everything to be filed or whatever, March 1st, March 15th, April 15th. And then they file extensions, and then we have that same whole thing happen again in September and October. I so really have worked very hard at how can I show up differently to be available for folks and say, hey, I'm here. I'm really here. And you don't have to go and try to find someone who's going to charge you for a monthly rate to do your bookkeeping for you. So if you don't really meet that criteria, I have a solution for you. So you can do it yourself. You can join me in the bookkeeping clinics. We can do one-on-one coaching, or I'll do it for you. But yes, it's going to be a different rate. So all of these things, I've created like 6 different ways for me to help someone in different stages of business to get the bookkeeping done. But guess what they're going to find out when they start working with me? They're going to say, oh my goodness, Jennine, you also can help me with this other stuff. You can help me with budgets. You can help me with insurance. You can help me with other tax stuff, tax planning, advisory, CFO services. So there's so many, like, there's so many facets to me that I really wish that more people knew, because I really love
Yeah, we
what I
got to get
do.
the word out. I mean, you're like a little beautiful little package opening up into blossoming into this amazing resource.
I really do. I love helping people, Jim. I love what I do. I love seeing that aha moment when they look at their financial statement. They're like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I was spending so much money on whatever, or I didn't realize that I really wasn't making the money that I thought I was, or the money is going somewhere and I didn't realize that why what's sitting in my bank doesn't match what my P&L says. So like, and then walking through these things with people, I feel completely okay with being completely transparent with folks and helping them read their financial statements so that they get the most out of being in business. I mean, to me, that's like huge. I want them to have that exciting moment where they can now plan that 6-week vacation they wanted to take because we worked together to set it up so that they're not, so they have that work-life balance. Does that make sense?
Oh, so much sense. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest challenges. I'd say like bonehead challenges that you got as an entrepreneur. I'm guilty of this. You work your tail off until you basically run your body into the ground till it dies, and then you ask it to do more. You know,
Yes.
and but what you're saying is that you don't have to do that. You can be successful
No.
and have a life, but you got to do a few things, and one of them is talking to you.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can help a business owner create the life that they want based off of whatever dollar value that they want their company to make. But it really starts with understanding how your financial component of your company is working. And if people are so triggered or scared to look at their finances, their financial statements, or look at their tax returns, like, I can't get you to have the life that you want if you won't look at the numbers. So part of the reason why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing and why I'm trying to take the approach to bookkeeping different than a lot of my colleagues are is that I am willing to work with folks that are struggling or want the clarity, but they're afraid to ask.
And what I love about what you just said is that you've put the hammer down and said, dang it, this is happening, but I have a solution. And even if you're just getting started and you're brand new and you don't have any money, you can go to watch some videos that I've got to make setting these books up easier, and you'll process that, start making some money, and you'll get engaged in your business in a way that you never dreamed possible because they're getting the right training from the right people. And not only the basics, but then you can pull them up all the way through, uh, selling their company and acquiring additional companies.
Uh, yes, Jim, actually I can. But what we say is from the beginning to the end, from concept to whatever the other word is.
Cool. So let's see. You just sent me some links. So we've got intro to OBO. Let me
QuickBooks Online, QBO.
QBO. Okay. So copy link. I'm gonna share these so we can see.
I'm
Give
really
me a sec.
excited about what I do and what I can help people with. I just wish more people knew about me.
Oh, okay. So that's a calendar. Intro to QuickBooks Online. That's a calendar link.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. How can I share that? See, that's what's nice about being on the live platform. I can put that right up, bam, so people can see it. Whereas this, it's not as easy.
Um, I can put those on both my, I mean, I think they're on my LinkedIn and they're definitely on my Facebook that the events are already scheduled there.
Okay, cool. If you show me where on your Facebook, I can share that.
If you go over to my Facebook, I think when you were on there, one of those workshop, um,
So I'm on your Facebook.
scroll down a little bit. You see where it says Bookkeeping for Better Business? There's Bookkeeping for Better Business, and there's other events.
Okay, right
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
All right, cool. So just go to Jannine's Facebook page and you can check out the Better Bookkeeping for Better Business.
Yes, and then I also have a Facebook profile and a LinkedIn profile for advanced bookkeeping, and those will be posted there as well.
Is that here?
hmm
Place.
Oh, so you are on my business page. You're on
Yeah,
my advanced bookkeeping, not my personal page. So yeah.
right. So we've got the bookkeeping and intro to QuickBooks Online. There's the same thing.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah. So that's actually my business profile,
I'm going to
not my
like those
personal
for you.
profile. So yeah, if people go to my business profile, they will find the links to sign up for these.
Then ask me anything's right there.
Yep.
Good job. You got this all posted.
I'm trying, Jim. I'm trying. Like I said, I don't think a lot of people really realize the volume of effort that's required to just show up sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Well, the
I
good
have,
news is, something I wanted to ask you. So we've got your Ask Me Anything. So if you're watching this now and you're a new business owner and you're looking for just somebody to ask some quick questions to, this is the place to go. And you can go to Jannine's Facebook page and just scroll down and you'll see all these items here, intro to QuickBooks, that you can go on and learn something about QuickBooks yourself from an expert and someone that you can, that's local and trust and that you can actually, if you want to, through the Bright Business Project, see face to face. Then bookkeeping for better business.
I
Good.
have two other things coming up too that I'm going to be picking the dates for, but I also am going to be hosting a Get Your Books Cleaned Up challenge. And,
Okay.
and I mean, I'm following the pattern of other successful people. So they're doing these challenges. They'll have a VIP experience. So basically, I'm just taking these things that I've seen other professionals in different industries do, but
Sure.
now I'm taking it to bookkeeping because
That's
I
so
really,
smart.
thank you.
So smart.
I
That's one
want
of the
people
precepts
to,
of marketing. It's called swipe and deploy. It's not stealing. It's called swipe and deploy. You're not stealing anything.
it's an inspiration, right?
Yeah.
But I really want people to have no excuse for filing extensions.
Yeah.
I can help you like 3,000 different ways to get the same thing done. And I'm tangible, I'm relatable, I'm actually real. I have a dog
Yeah.
and he's
Well,
cute
and
too.
yeah, and a really cool family too. So,
So yeah, so I mean I feel like I said, one person had said to me one day, a very, very long time ago, he says, you're gonna have to come out and do something different with accounting. And this was probably almost 20 plus years ago. And I'm saying to myself, when he said this, I'm like, I don't know what you mean. So I struggled with that for a really long time. But it's actually coming to fruition that it really has been a passion of mine to help people with their accounting. General, yes, of course, I am an accountant. But there's so many areas that having that part of your business tied up and correct will, it's really super important to me to see people be successful and have happy, successful businesses.
excellent. Thank you. So, last question for you. As it relates to this is the Bright Business Talk Show. Um, and I wanted to ask you, and I actually don't know the answer to this. What is your current affiliation with the Bright Business Project?
I came into finding you, Jim, excuse me, through one of my colleagues. Her name is Suzanne Pantoja.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Suzanne,
And
she wanted actually she connected with me on LinkedIn this morning and wanted to see this broadcast and
I
wanted
know
to
she was
join us
excited.
live. That would have been fun.
Excuse me. So I mean, she says, hey, she says, I know somebody that you might want to talk to. And I honestly didn't realize that we were going to be doing the show today. But she says, hey, you need to connect with this guy. He's got this really cool podcast. Get to know him, learn about what he's doing. She says he's really super cool. So I said, okay.
Sweet. Oh, that's awesome. Well, glad you joined me today. I love this
Shout out to
conversation.
Suzanne. Suzanne, thank you for
Yeah,
the
shout out to
intro.
Suzanne. If we were live, maybe she'd be on and we could bring her on too. But
Yes.
that would be fun. That's where we'll be soon. We'll be back in the live mode again soon. But today we're just recording, and that's cool too.
No worries. As
So
long
any
as we get the
final
message out.
thoughts before we wrap this up?
Um, my final thoughts is that I'm really super grateful for having the opportunity to talk to you today. And I'm grateful for all of the people who will find out about me as a result of this conversation. And as I mentioned before, I really do love my clients. I love helping my clients. I think that that's a really strong component to being successful because I tell people the minute that it stops being fun, then you need to stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not enjoying it, you don't like your clients, you don't like what you're doing, you don't want to get out of bed in the morning, you might want to reassess. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm grateful for what I do, and I'm grateful for the mind that I have to be able to think of the different ways of to help people, and I'm grateful to having the heart to serve people.
Mm, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you all for joining us here on the Bright Business Talk Show, where we have conversations, purpose-driven conversations about business and life. And this was an exciting conversation. I learned so much. I learned that an accountant, which my grandfather was an accountant, he was a CPA on Wall Street, and he was very introverted. And I'm not, but I kind of am, but I've overcome it. But you know, he was very quiet, very smart, but very quiet. And you're different. You've got some things going on with you as an accountant that make me excited to be associated with you because you're actually out there proactively doing things, putting out videos, having phone calls with people, helping them through their process in a way that helps them and not you necessarily firsthand right off the bat, and putting it out there, just saying, hey, I want to help. Let me help you. And I love that because that's really what makes the world go round is that purpose. You have that purpose and it's very apparent in you. And I appreciate you and for your, what you're doing and how you're serving the community. So that's from my heart to yours. I don't say that normally to people, but you inspired me. I'm really happy that we got a chance to chat today.
Thank you, Jim. I'm really happy that we had a chance to talk today too. And I am actually an introvert, but I've had to overcome or work with it so that I can show up, so I can show up better or show up more tangible and relatable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for you. I know that's not easy. So, but
No,
it's so important, so important. And you can speak to that to other people now too. So good for you. So we're going to say goodbye and hang on a sec. When we're done, I'm just going to stop the recording and